Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, today we're going to be fitting the tanks to the van. We've got two tanks, both going underneath the van, both from CAK Tanks. I'll leave a link in the description below for them if you're interested and you need one yourself. They do all different sorts of tanks for different vans. Really good company, very helpful. Now, I did wrap the tanks with insulation about a year ago, so I'm going to have to hand you back to me about a year ago before we start fitting them today. But yeah, let's crack on. Also, a little update for you. What do you think of that? Decided to make it look a little bit more, well, a little less like a white van. What do you reckon? Yeah, I think it looks good. Let us know in the description. And there we go, 2 in transit on the side there. I think it looks good. Let us know what you think. So this is our freshwater tank. Got the, as you can see on the end here, got the filler there. We've got the services output and a drain on there. So this is the top of the tank. So what we need to do first, turn it over, because this is the side that we want the heating mat on, so the heat rises. And then we'll turn it back over and we'll put the sensor, the level sensor in. And this is the heat mat, very simple. I'll put a link in the description below. 3M self-adhesive, couple of wires, quite simple, just hook that up to the 12 volt and a switch, and literally all we need to do, fill that off, and then we'll put that, where should we put that? We'll put that over here, we'll put it in the middle. That's the first job done. Right, so this is the top of the tank, so what we need to do is cut a hole in with a hole saw, and then we can get the tank level sensor in, get that sorted out, and then we can get it wrapped up. Alright, so I've got 2 sensors, one slightly longer than the other because we've got different sized tanks. So we're going to go with the longer one for this. This is the larger tank. So get some instructions, fittings, and this is the sensor. So this is a resistance sensor. It'll measure the resistance with the float. So if it's empty, obviously there'll be a greater resistance. When it's full, less resistance because of less distance there. And we literally just connect these 2 cables up to the Servo GX, and then that will feed the information to the touch screen so we can monitor it. Right, so we've got the hole saws, and all we need to do is find the right size. Now obviously it's got to be big enough to get the float through. So for these sensors, I'll put a link in the description below, and you will need a 44mm hole saw. Probably get away with a slightly smaller one, but we're going to use a 44 because that's all I've got really that will fit. So for these sensors, you need to make sure that the length is shorter than the depth of the tank, because you don't want the ends touching the bottom. It does interfere with the measurements. Right, if I go in there, I think should be okay. Right, so that's the first tank sensor on there. I've just put a little bit of rubber sealant around there. They do come with a gasket anyway, but just to make sure it's properly sealed up there and it's not going to go anywhere. It does come. It's got breather holes here for the air to come out of the tank when you're filling out, so it doesn't have to be completely air and watertight, but just want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. So we'll just wait for that to dry, and then we'll start wrapping it with the insulation. So I've cut a few of these strips of aluminium faced insulation, close toe insulation. I'm just going to put these on, stick these on there, and then tape them up with the aluminium tape. First one on, let's do the rest. So that's it, all done. Nicely insulated. We've got the sensor on there, we've got the heater on there, and yeah, that's all ready to be fitted now. Only problem is it's raining, so we'll get the other tank done, and when it dries up a bit, we'll get them fitted.
Many months later.
Now, one quick job to do before I get under the van, because I haven't had my magic line this morning, and I do have it every morning. I am feeling the benefits, and to be honest, after taking it for a few weeks, I have noticed the benefits do stack up the more you drink it. So consistency is key for this. It tastes good. I can't recommend it enough. It really does help make the mind a little bit sharper in the mornings. Natural caffeine hit from that matcha, and I've got to say, I just love the taste. It's really nice. But besides that, Magic Mind are still giving you a good discount, up to 48% off your first subscription if you click on the link in the description and use the code TRANSIT20. So give it a go today, you won't regret it. And I'm still saving all these for my next holiday because I'm sort of shampoo and everything in them. Don't like wastage. Anyway, let's get under that van.
Right, so under the van, I put the freshwater tank in position. We've got the couple of old bits of Celotex or Rectisil just supporting it. Now we've got to find somewhere for these U-bolts to go. We find somewhere for these to fit in, and then we're in business. Well, that's no good. That comes out of there. What we want is something like this. Something like, I don't know, something that's just going to pull down. That's too far in. Well, that's too far in, so that's not going to work. That just comes out of there, so we don't want to use that one. That's no good. Got these holes here. That would be okay because you've got to point it in one direction to release it. So coming straight down, there's no way that's going to slip out. So that one is okay. That one's fine. But this side, a bit dark in here. I've got one here, but I think it might jump out. Move that across. So that sits in there, but I think that might jump out. There's no lip. There's no lip on the bottom here. It's just flat, so they can just slide out. So that's no good. Need to find somewhere else for these bolts. Oh, there's a little void just behind there. See, just there. Let's give that a go. Hook that on there. Get in there. No, it's not a void, that's just an indent. It's not actually a hole there, so that's no good. Right, I've come to the conclusion that the bracket will fit around and it will go in this side. I can get it in this side here with this U-bolt go through this hole here. That'll pull it up, but this side there's not enough room because of the way this bracket juts out. It's just not going over far enough, and there's nowhere up in this top corner to actually attach the U-bolt. So what I'm going to do, I think, where it goes like that, I'm actually going to bend it so it comes out like that and up, and then I can bolt it to the side. Just bend it down a little bit, slide the tank in, and then put this up and then secure it. So a little bit of fabrication to do. Right, after a lot of banging and persuading, that's the original side of the bracket, and this is what I've done. And that should hopefully meet the contour of the van underneath. Now we can just bolt this onto the side, pull this down, slide the tank in, and then push that back up and bolt it in. Let's see how that works out for us. That's not bad. You can just see. Where are you? There you are. There we go. You can just see the bracket there. There you can see in this light. So that now bends up round up there, round there, and just meets the inside there. So we just put a bolt through there, or a screw in there, and then we can put this into place, and then just put the tank into place, then push this up and bolt it into the U-bolt. See that in this light, a little hole here. I can reach the outer skin, so I can get all the way behind, and I can actually reach the other side of this with the spanner, so I'll be able to tighten this up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use this hole here, or this one here. This one goes into the side of the footwell, the step, the driver's side step. We'll either put the inlet for the water coming in through the side of the step in the cab, where no one can fiddle with it, or we can go through here, and then that will come out just there. So we got some options. Right, there we go. Just nipped up to keep it in place. This will tighten up, pull it in where we want it, and that's nice and secure on the inside there as well. Shouldn't go anywhere. So we'll get the back on, and then we'll tighten up that one, and then this one is on. Now we're on the back. Let's see if we can find somewhere to hang it back here. With a bit of luck. Let's go forward a little bit because it's on this. It should go in front of that really. Hopefully we might be able to put the one hanging bolt in this hole here, and then there might be something on the other side here. Looks like one. There's a couple. One here, one here, there's one there as well. We might be able to just hang this one straight away. Let's see. So plan B, I've straightened off the end. I've drilled a couple of holes in, here. We're going to put some self-drilling screws in here, 2 of those, and then they are going to screw into the side of the van, like so, and then that should put it just where we need it, and then we can use a hanger bolt on this side. Same as we did the other side. See if that works. Like that. So we'll screw these into here then. See if that works. Okay. That's not going anywhere. So now what we've got to do is just bend it down and put the tank in. And then we'll get the U-bolt in on this side, and then this one is done and in. Finished. Let's try and get the U-bolt to line up. Get the U-bolt in. This is going to be difficult. Right, there we go. That one is fixed in. We're in the U-bolt out here. We've got a couple of screws going through the other side into the inside skin underneath here. Same with the front. Absolutely solid. So all we're going to do now with this one, connect up the tank sensor and the heating pad in the back, and connect up the pipe work. But not today. Next job, waste tank. Hello. Visitor. Right, so the waste tank is going just here. This is behind the sliding door step next to the fuel tank. We've got the fuel filler here, so it'll go right up to the fuel filler and then all the way down to this little notch. Oh, that notch there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use, hopefully, these points here, one there, there's a hole there I can use, there's a hole, actually I might use that hole there, and then I've got a couple of holes along this edge here that I can use. Let's see if it works. Okay, there's the first two. Let's see how we go with the second two. This is going a little bit too easy. Must be a catch somewhere. Right, so these two have gone in quite easy. One up here, there's another one just up there somewhere. They've gone in nice and easy, but these two, this one's at the end of the thread and it's still got a lot of room here, and it won't push up because of the room. It hasn't got enough room for the bolt, so that's not going to work. Well, that wasn't going to work. So the U-bolts, the plain shank is too long, so I can't tighten it all the way up, and also it doesn't give enough room at the side for the tank to fit up against the back of the step. So I think what we'll do is we'll straighten one side of each bracket like we did the other side, and then screw it in, and then we'll do exactly the same as we did the other side. Sometimes you just got to be a little bit forceful. Okay, looks good. I'm going to slide it in from the back end. Sit, that's in position. Just do these two bolts up here now. We can get these to meet.
will be done. Doesn't help that I can't get my hand up the side of the tank, and I've got to push it up at the same time. That's it, that's on the thread. That's the first one. On. It's a bit easier. And there's the second one on. I'll just do these up. Oh no, it's upside down. Oh, you're having a laugh. Oh well, off it comes. I wondered why that cable was in my face. This will take just the jiffiest of jiffies. Right, as I've bent this bracket down, just to get the tank back out, the holes that I put, the screw holes here, the screws just popped out, so this isn't very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill this out. I can actually get to it from the other side. I'll just show you. A little hole there. I can put a nut and a bolt through and do it up from the other side. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, that's not going anywhere. We're going to have to do something with the other one as well. Right, there we go. This one's bolted in, that one's bolted in. I'm just going to slide it in and then put those hook bolts in the brackets and we're done. Right, so from the shower waste to the tank, it's been an absolute nightmare. I'm fed up with looking at different pipes and different connectors and things like that. It's been really difficult to get the right parts for what we want to do. I didn't want lots of push fit pipes going across underneath the van. They're quite bulky and quite noisy if they're rattling around. So what I've decided to do is use hoses from the waste pipes down to the tank. So what I've decided, well, one of the only things I can use is a little U-bend here. So this goes into the waste under the shower. And then we've got a little U-bend, so that stops any nasty smells and things coming up through the pipework from the tank. On the end of this, I've got a nozzle, hose nozzle. Just under there, you've got a little inspection or little rodding port there. So if it does get clogged up in there, we can always just take that off and clean it out. So that's handy. So from the nozzle, we're going to be using some hose. And this is just washing machine or dishwasher hose that you get from B&Q. Now, it's quite dirty at the end. That's because I've been making sure that it actually fits on the connector that's welded into the tank, which it does. It fits nicely. The other end will go into the nozzle on the U-bend. And then what we will do is just before it gets to the tank, we'll cut the hose and we will use one of these. This is a Y connector. You just see that. And what we'll do, we'll have the inlet from the shower waste on one side, and then we'll have the inlet from the kitchen sink waste, and then the outlet to the waste tank. And we'll use the same hose for all of it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that will work. But yeah, we'll see. We'll get under the van and we'll start putting it all together and see if it all fits. I hope it does, because I'm fed up with trying to find the right connectors. I'll put it that way round. It's lovely. It actually sits quite close to the floor pan. And it actually sits just above the level of the chassis. So hopefully it shouldn't get damaged by anything. I'll route the hose across to the other side. Where are you? There you are. There's the tank. So that fits on the top there. Just put the Jubilee clip on there, that'll hold that in place. But first we've got to find the right length of hose. We've got to cut it and then secure it in place on the chassis somewhere, probably using some hose clips or cable clips. And then we've got to cut this, put the Y branch connector on, connect it to that, then connect it into the tank. So then we've got the waste for the kitchen available. So that's the next job. Cut that there. Put our Y connector on there. Should fit nicely. Actually, first of all, Jubilee clip, and then we'll get the Y connector on. Ooh, that's a tight fit. Will it go? I think it will. Oh, there we go, that's on. Right, so we can do that up now. That's better. Obviously we don't want to over tighten it because we don't want to crush the plastic. Okay, so we'll almost reach, so we just need a small run here now just to connect the two. That will go on there nicely, so we'll put that on and tighten that up. And we'll just cut the length of the pipe accordingly, and then that should be the shower waste connected. That's not coming off. Right, so now we just need to cut the pipe and connect there. How do we release the cutters? Oh, like that. Okay, I'm happy with that. Jubilee clip on there, and then we'll push this on here. We did the other one. And then we'll tighten up the Jubilee clip, and then we've just got to secure that to the underpan or the chassis, wherever we can really. Now the one thing you have got to bear in mind when doing this is where you route it, because you don't want to be in the way of your jack points, because just here, up here, you just can't see that. There we go, just there. That's a jack point. If it was going up on the hoist, on the garage lift, so you want to make sure that it's clear of that, so that the pipe doesn't get crushed if it's in the garage. All these things you've got to think of. Okay, that's all good, and the kitchen waste to go in there. So we'll tie this up out the way, and then we're done. Right, so under the van, you remember we've got a couple of CAK tanks. This needs a bit of taping up here, but sort that out. Now we've got the blue freshwater pipe coming in here. This is a 15mm connection, so we've got to step down here into the 12mm, and that just runs all the way around the tank and all the way down. I've done it behind the heat shield to protect from the exhaust, and then that comes out past the suspension, and then just in behind the leaf spring rear eye, straight up there. Bit of a big hole, that's all I had. We'll fill all this, so that'll be okay. And that then it comes up here, just behind the toilet box. I've got a John Guest insert on there ready for the wobble van kit to go onto. So this is one of the ones we made yesterday, and that will just go straight on the top there with the isolator valve, and then that will feed our cold water
through the heat exchanger and straight into the tank. Right, so the last thing we need to do, and it is the last thing, finally, for the water system, is to fit a filler cap, because we haven't got one. And we need a way of getting the water in the tank. So what we've done, got a hole in here. This goes right the way through. Doesn't actually go inside the van, so if we get any water leaks, it's not going to go in the van and cause any issues. It's on the outside. So we'll put the filler cap on here, connect up the hose to the tank, and then we're done. Right, so I'd already put the rust protection on there, the Hammerite red oxide primer, and I've just put a little bit of Sikaflex on there, and once I've got this screwed into place, I'll Sikaflex around it as well. It doesn't make any difference sealing it really, because as I said, it's not on the inside of the van. This goes straight through to underneath the floor pan. But it'll look better with a little bit of sealant around. Get that to go on there somehow. It's a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be, but I'm sure we can make it work. There's a Jubilee clip around here somewhere. There we go. One filler pipe. So we've got the drain, we've got the feed, we've got the filler pipe. Just got to tape this up, tidy this up a little bit. That's the freshwater tank done. We've got the there it is. We just got the heater there to fit to wire up, and we've got the tank sensor to wire up, and then that's it. I think we're done. Now we'll run this inside of a conduit to protect it underneath. But for now, I just want to connect it up so we can see the tank level. So we can see if we've got enough water in there to actually run the pump. To brown, and then black to black. Now I've only used a thin 18 gauge wire because this is just a resistance sensor. Not really much power going through it at all. Just keep that hooked up out of the way for now while we test, and then we'll tidy that up shortly. Right, so to wire up the tank level sensor on the servo, all we do is we take our two wires. This is the end of the other end of the cable that I've just connected to the tank. We're going to get a couple of ferrule crimps. Put one of those on there. Not the easiest things to get on, especially on a little stranded cable, but a little twist, that should do it. And all we do is we get a little ferrule crimper. There's a little four-sided one. We put the ferrule into there and then squeeze down on it. There we go. Alright, so that was a slightly too big. Let's try a smaller one. Got some little ones. There we go. Try the little one. Take two. There we go. That's better. That's on there. Come in a variety of sizes, these ferrules, so you want to make sure you get the right size ones. Just twist it around. Get all of those strands inside there. There we go. Again, to the crimp down. There we go. There's your ferrules. Now what I've got is this is the plug that goes into the bottom of the servo, and you just pop it in top and bottom. It doesn't matter about the polarity. Doesn't matter which one goes in which. We're only measuring resistance between the two. And then all we do, move you up there. There we go. We plug that back in underneath the servo, if you can find it. There we go. Right, now that should be giving us a reading on the touch screen as to what our level should be.
Right, back in the van and have a look at the display and see what we got.
Oh, there we go. So both tanks are installed. Didn't show you the wiring of the waste tank because it's exactly the same as the freshwater. But there we go. Nothing in them, so we'll get those filled up and hopefully we'll have some readings. But yeah, that's that job done.
So there we go. That is how you fit CAK tanks to your van. I can't recommend the company enough. The waste tank, I think it was a waste tank they sent us, didn't quite fit. They literally replaced it, worked out the correct one that we needed, and they sent a new one out, swapped it over. Brilliant service, can't thank them enough. Please do check them out. So if you found this video of any help, please do hit the like button, give us that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the future videos, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.